So, welcome everyone. I am super excited to introduce you to the next two gals. They are friends that I have gotten to know and not became acquaintances and then became friends really fast. And I love everything that they have to offer and the community building that they're doing, not just among women, but also amongst Christian folk and people here in Ohio. So I want to introduce to you Lori Bryant and Kristen Smith from Seeking Whole Health.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Kristen. I'm an herbalist and aromatherapist, and I got started on this health journey just with some of my own personal health struggles after I had my first baby, and my thyroid crashed, and I realized that this whole standard American diet and lifestyle, there must be something wrong with it. And that was 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago. And so it's been a long journey learning and growing. And yeah, I get the honor now of helping other people work through their health struggles and just find a path to better health.
Hey, I'm Lori Bryant. I am a functional nutritional therapy practitioner. So we focus on root causes and imbalances in the body, looking at whatever symptoms you're experiencing and realizing that it's your body waving a red flag and why, and putting together the pieces like a puzzle to understand how can we support the body so it can rebalance, so that we can live thriving and enjoy optimal health. And I kind of stumbled into the world of holistic health. And once I had some of my, preconceived notions and understandings about health challenged, and I realized I was so wrong, it led me on this path to go like, oh no, what else have I assumed is correct that isn't? And so that led me to the Nutritional Therapy Association and signing up, because I realized on my own, like, I was learning a little bit, and that there was still so much more. And I think the more you learn, like, you realize there is still more to learn. So I'm very excited just to continue the journey of learning and also helping people on their own health journeys. So that led us to starting Seeking Whole Health. Kristen?
Yeah. So Seeking Whole Health is conference and events that we run for Christians. And it started with really conversations I was having with another friend who she does regenerative farming and is interested in herbalism and different things. And we would talk about different events that she had been speaking at or I was interested in going to. And there was always this point where we felt like, I just can't go to that thing. I can't be there. There might be some good information, and yeah, there's always places you go where you have to sort through things, and maybe you toss out that idea that doesn't quite align with, my belief system or things that are really important to who I am as a person. Mentally toss that out, no big deal. What we were coming to is, I feel like I'm given two options and I don't like either. There's either within the secular health community a strong hatred towards Christian values and Christian beliefs, or on the Christian side of things, I'm probably going to a marketing seminar. And those are not good places to get good, solid health information. And so we had talked and we thought, what if we started putting together something ourselves, something, small. And it was this, maybe we'll do this someday. We should do this someday. And then it wasn't really because of COVID, but it just coincided at the same time. We just decided we're going to do it. And so we pulled in some extra people, Lori being one of them. Mm-hmm. And it's now grown with Lori and I now basically organizing everything and taking it over and just providing Christians that space. So,
yeah. So it's really our mission to empower Christians to reclaim their health. We believe God created us to be in health. He made our bodies to heal. And so we want to give Christians solid health information. Because I always think it's really neat. If you look at the science, some people look only at the science, right? And they're just so focused on that. But really, because God created us and he made science too, but it lines up. So we get very interested in what is actually happening. It's not woo-woo stuff, but real solid science-backed health information about how do our bodies work. and what we can understand about it, because I think they're so complex. There's still so many things like we don't understand. So there is a little bit of like, okay, God, what do I need? There's all this information. And now what do I do with that information? So encouraging people that like, God knows exactly where you're at. We can provide information and then trust him of like, what am I supposed to do? And which information is for you? Because he has a path forward and a journey to health for you. So really giving people those resources that they need so that they can transform and reclaim their health, as well as building community around it, because we find it's lonely when you start making changes and you maybe feel like you're just the odd man out, like your family doesn't understand it, your friends don't understand it, maybe the people at your church don't understand it, and you're like, I want to do this, but I am living on an island and it is lonely here. So we want to build community and normalize it, that you know, being healthy isn't some hippie woo thing over here. It is not worship of creation instead of the creator.
Yep. And it's not a cult to realize that we are energy. We can look at these alternatives, but I've seen a lot of the pushback. I've felt for a really long time that the Christian community misses out on so much of what is available for health because it has been sort of framed.
Yeah.
Everything that's alternative has been framed as uh pagan. And so there are so many in the Christian community that just sort of cut themselves off. Oh, I can't even look over there. I can't even consider that or research it because I know what it's associated with and it's bad. And they're missing out on what could be, I mean, what we've been given, ironically, they're missing out on what God gave us to be fully healthy, and what you guys are doing to make it a safe space to reframe things that were co-opted elsewhere. That reframing makes it like, okay, I can look into it. And people are still going to find things that don't resonate with them, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But as long as you know it's sort of a safe space that is nobody's talking to you about um casting spells or dancing under the moonlight
Your
or any other reason.
chakra and
Yeah, other than glorifying the fact that God gave us moonlight.
right.
Hard. It's hard to feel like you're stepping into something that is going to be framed wrong. And this, I definitely saw a need for you guys. And the second you reached out to me and we're talking about the conferences that you were putting on, it was definitely water on dry ground to be able to feel like, okay, I can go and I can share what I do, and the knowledge that I have and the frame that I'm putting it through will be understood. So as a speaker, it means a lot.
Oh, we're glad. Yeah. And to that point of a safe space, like I think Kristen and I, we really look at it as like we are shepherding our group. We take it very seriously. The speakers that we allow in, the kind of things that are going to be taught. I mean, there's going to be something at some point where I'm like, oh, well, didn't see that one coming. Don't agree with that. But we pray over things. Like we really take it very seriously, what we're bringing into our events, the speakers we're bringing in, even just the way that they present to our attendees. Some people are so hard in their approach. It's black and white, right? You do it and people leave feeling condemned. Like, I can't do all of that. We don't want you to feel condemned. We want to give you information and say, even if you take one thing and do that one thing, and then as you feel better, you can do another one thing. And I think that's where that's empowering, like, and just encouraging people to start on that path and that journey that God has for them. It's really important. Yeah. So some events that everybody should know about.
Yeah. So we have an annual spring conference that takes place in Northeast Ohio. And we just finished our third this past spring. So our fourth is going to be a big one. We're really excited. We're going to be hosting Joel Saladin as our main keynote speaker. And so people are super excited about that. This is going to be in Worcester, Ohio this year on May 1st through the 3rd. And it's your typical conference with keynote speakers. There'll be some other big names that are coming in we're super excited about. And you'll have opportunities to go to different breakout sessions and learn in, a smaller classroom size from people. And it's not just going to be lecture style. We have people that come in and they do hands-on demonstrations. And we'll cover topics ranging from, using medicinal weeds all the way over to like fermenting things, because we really do believe food is medicine, even as an herbalist.
Oh, oh,
Right. Whole health. There's a reason it's seeking whole health. We want this to, really help you both body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah, this upcoming year, we haven't put most of these speakers out there, but as we're working on it, we've got speakers that are going to do like an organ meat cooking demonstration and talk about the benefit of organ meats for our body, which I want to put out there. So when people think like holistic health, they're like, so does that mean plant-based? We are not plant-based people. So we'll be completely upfront about that. We believe that God gave us meat to eat, and eating organ meats and, properly raised animals is really great for our health. We've got some people that are going to be talking about toxins and fertility and, oh my goodness, there's just so many great topics. So it's always neat to us to see just how God brings people together. And it's really, we get to do the work. We're here serving God and serving our community, but he's the one coordinating all this, and to watch him bring people together. And our prayer is just always that he gets the people there that need to be there and need to hear this information. And it's neat to watch him work. So we're very excited. And we are just so passionate, I think, about helping people understand that God created them to be healthy, and that they shouldn't be beat down, and really to rise up to the calling that God has in your life. You need energy. You need vitality. I think it's one of Satan's devices that people are so beat down.
you can't walk out God's purpose in your life if you are exhausted and miserable and unable to have the energy to get up out of bed. And so many people, I think it's been a great lie for Christians to believe, oh, well, being a Christian is a hard road and this is a fallen world. So it's okay. I'm in pain all the time, but this isn't my home. And that's not your purpose. That's not what God intended for us. And to what you guys are doing to try and bring that into the Christian community, think about how many people, when they realize, oh, it's not the purpose of Christianity for me to be miserable. That doesn't make me separate from the world. It actually makes me part of the world. Being
Yes.
separate is being healthy and feeling glory and joy every day. And then you can do your purpose. Like, think about all the people that you're freeing up to be able to walk out their purpose and what that can do. It's amazing.
Right. We're supposed to be lights in the world. Not that we won't have trials and tribulations and we
Right.
can learn great things through that, but we are supposed to be light in the world. We should look different. People should look at us and say, for so many different reasons, there's something different, right? Whether that's how our families work. And I will say, because we are in the season right now with teens, it takes energy to stand on God's word and raise teens up in the nurture and admonition, kids of all ages, right? But I think that's, just another one of the devices of Satan is like, you're beat down. You can't stand for your family. You can't stand on God's word. You can't walk out on the path that he has for you and the plans he has for your life. So that's what we really, we feel so called and so passionate about reaching Christians. And just let me at least encourage you in that, whether you get your information from us or somebody else. Can we just wake up to God meant it when he said he wants me to prosper and be in health. And I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm not broken.
Right.
I hear that from a lot of women, specifically. We kind of own that, but men, I'm sure, feel it too. But maybe because I talk to more women, right? That we feel broken. And to know, like, no, that's a lie that I've accepted. I am not broken. And I have to let go of that before I can begin to heal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a Western medicine lie that gets planted really early because we start injecting babies the second they're out of the womb, that there's something we need to fix, that there's something broken or not right. And we carry that all the way through. And Western medicine isn't a horrible thing. There are wonderful things there that we can take advantage of, but when we live under it as if it is our God, um, that's when we start to believe that we need Western medicine to fix us because we're just there's just so much not right here that there's so many that can be things that can be improved, and that's a huge, huge lie. We are perfectly made.
Yes.
Just keep screwing it up.
Yep. When I talk with people about food and I explain like it's not the way that God intended food was perfect. It's what man has done to the food system. And I would
Yeah,
take it a next step further if they're open to it to say like, and it's really how Satan has gotten in there and manipulated the food system.
yeah.
It's not by accident. But
Why?
the way God created it was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So
with our conference, that's what we want people to come away with, understanding these things and reframing how they think about health. And we offer these even in smaller events too, where something new we're doing is offering for people that are within our driving distance, is taking the show on the road and bringing some of our favorite workshops and classes and taking them to you. So we're calling it Seeking Whole Health to You. But this is a way we want to reach more Christians. Like we want to come to your church group. We want to come to your ladies' Bible study or talk with your youth group and your teenagers and help get them inspired so that they're thinking about their health at that age, so that when they have their first baby, they don't have a health crisis. They're going into marriage and family planning and all these things feeling healthy, and they get the head start that maybe we didn't have out of ignorance. And so that's something we're excited to offer to people too. It makes it a little more convenient in case someone can't make it to the conference or travel is an issue for you. We just really want to make that difference in the lives of Christians in particular.
Yep.
I'm excited about those smaller conferences and the things that you can do. I mean, I traveled and spoke at Mother Earth News fairs for a lot of years, and the fact that they had multiple locations for their fairs, it's kind of what I see you guys starting to branch out to.
Thank you. That's interesting.
Baby steps. But being able to pull from larger areas, making your circle, the center of your circle into a different place and reaching further, lets you reach more people that can drive.
Right.
2 hours isn't that big of a deal. 6 hours is, I mean, you really have to have a reason to drive for that event. Being able to make it more accessible is a big thing. And I wanted to touch on the food. That's so important. And so many conferences that you go to drop the ball there. They have great information, and then you go and you sit down to a meal served on styrofoam that is filled with everything that's going to make you unhealthy and turn you away. And if you guys are creating these events and you are thinking about every detail, and the food that we take into our bodies is absolutely part of the teaching.
Yes, absolutely.
So I love that is a ministry. The women that are coming that you're bringing in, there's speakers and everybody thinks, "Ooh, that's what I'm going to go and listen to." But they don't think about the speaker, the teacher that is serving you the food that they lovingly made for you with real food ingredients. Every aspect of what you guys are putting together, whether it's in your home base or whether you're starting to bring it on the road, is carefully crafted to be a teaching for you to walk away lifted and inspired. And I think you guys are doing it really well. I'm excited to be I'm honored and excited to be part of I spoke at your I spoke this past year.
New
And
events now. Yeah.
yeah, I spoke at your women's event and the spring event, and I hope that I can contribute in many, many ways from here on out. Um, do you guys have anything else specific that you wanted to share?
I think I'd just like to share with the audience too that we do some events that are specific for women. And we really love, like, you know, I think most women lead the charge in their families. So it's really important that we give women the information that they need so that they can make those choices for their family. But we are trying to make changes within families because it's more sustainable. So our annual conference, at the very least, we are bring your husband to that event. Like, we are
Please.
gearing it towards men as well. And we're trying to be very intentional with the types of speakers we bring in, making sure that there is enough topics being covered, that it's not like it's all women's health topics where guys like, I don't know. Our very first event, we had 50 people at our first 1-day workshop, and there was one guy, and bless that man's heart. Like, I was just, thank you for being there, buddy.
Kevin. It was Kevin.
It makes a big
Thank you,
difference for a
Kevin.
woman. It makes a big difference for a woman who is often charged with the leading food change and health change in the home. If there is a conference that her partner feels comfortable going to, because then he's learning firsthand and getting his own ideas and getting inspired on his own. And it's not all, as the woman in this position, it's not all my job to try and lift him onto my shoulders and convince him and talk him into things and get him on board. And when I was going to other conferences that weren't family oriented, Christian oriented, it was absolutely like sisterhood and womb power, and and my husband was not going near that.
Yeah, the events that are, it's your inner feminine goddess that we
No,
are
no,
worshiping. I am
no,
like, oh
no,
guys.
no, no. It has to be a family thing. If you're going to truly be successful in your home at lifting up your family and guiding them in health and spiritual health and mental health, in their body's health, you have to have both partners moving in the same direction. And it can't be one person pulling really hard in the harness and the other person pulling back, because your kids see that.
Yes. And that's what we heard a lot. Our first year, we heard the women were asking questions. How do I get my husband on board?
Mhm.
I'm interested, but my husband laughs at me.
Yeah.
And we thought this has to become a focus for us, because we want the men to come, but the men are also dealing with their own health struggles, whether they want to admit it or not. And
Yeah.
they need to be able to come to a place where they see this is not some weird, like, women dancing with crystals thing. This is like, oh, here's a like really manly dude up there with a gnarly beard, and he's talking about health. And
Yeah.
he looks strong, and he's leading his family, and like he's willing to invest money into them buying good food.
Right.
And there's other guys doing this too. Maybe this isn't just my wife kind of, and not that all men think this way by any means, but we do hear that from women.
Yeah.
And then their minds and their hearts start to open up to, like, I can help my children by emphasizing this and supporting my wife in her desire to lead our family in a healthy direction with our food and our health care. And so that's been, I think, really special to us to see more of that opening up.
It's a sea change. I mean, it's absolutely a sea change to approach it as a family. And it's the only way to be successful, because if you're diverting 90% of your energy to convincing your partner and 10% of your energy is actually moving forward, oh,
It's
you're not
exhausting.
actually getting anywhere.
No.
So I know my husband was really comfortable, and the men that I saw there were able to be men. They weren't like at a conference and they needed to kind of keep themselves in check and be appropriate or whatever. They were just guys,
Yeah.
and was really comfortable for a family, and there were kids running around, and so it was obvious that this was meant for the whole unit, not just the girls, and everybody else was kind of coming along.
Yeah.
And what a difference. So I would encourage folks that are watching this video now and in the future, that as Seeking Whole Health grows and grows, um, to get to a conference, take your family. And as you're doing this, like, women's groups are amazing to include what you guys are doing, but also think about your homesteading community. There are a lot of homesteading communities that are coming together in neighborhoods, and it's families that are coming together and learning skills together. And this is exactly what you need to be inviting into those groups,
Mhm.
is this kind of information, because it is geared at the family, the community, the both men and women. And the more we do this, the more healthy we're going to be.
Yeah, and I'll say just final thoughts here. My husband Adam, he is on our board here at Seeking Whole Health, and involved in how do we grow this and reach more people. And he really feels strongly. He says, don't discount women. He's like, I know that you guys are so focused on bringing men in. Do not discount that change starts in the home with women, that women often lead the charge with this. He goes, even if you look at the Bible, it often starts like with women, like they started, oh,
Good stuff. Yeah.
right. So he goes, and guys, we just want to be your heroes. So if you tell us, hey, this would mean a lot to me if you supported me in this, he goes, I might not care yet about health, but I'll show up for you because I want to be your hero. Like
Yeah.
I want to be there for you. And I think that just, I'd share that with any ladies that are listening to this, since I know we're sharing this for the women's event that you're doing, which I'm so excited for. But ladies, like, it's okay if you're excited and your guys aren't on board yet, just make sure they know that this is something that's really important to you and that you want their support because it's important.
Yeah.
And they'll get, as they start learning, because Adam, that's how it started with us, is I would read stuff and I tell Adam about it and he'd be like, oh, like, but it was with me first sharing that information and like piquing his interest. And he's gotten to the point where he'll read things and teach me some things now. I still kind of lead that charge, but he cares and he's invested in it. So final
Yeah.
thought there.
Anything else to say, Kristen?
Yeah, no, just if people are interested in what we're doing, if you're curious about whether it's coming to the conference or bringing us to you, we just invite you to come sign up for our email list. That's the best way to keep up on what we're doing. If you just go to seekingwholehealth.com, you'll find some easy sign up forms right there on the homepage, and your information stays safe with us. We don't share it because that's yucky. And we also have some things on social media you can follow sporadically, we're on
Instagram and Facebook sometimes.
but we're real people with real lives and real families. And like anybody else, we can't do it all the time.
Amen.
So email is definitely the best place to keep in touch, but do what works best for you.
So if somebody wanted to invite you guys out or just learn from the community that you're building, because that we can't discount that you are bringing a lot of people together to have a conversation that, if somebody just wants to start to learn, they can sit in the corner and eavesdrop and
Yeah.
look. But
We
if
work
somebody
really
wants-
hard at making our emails all very educational. So when you join our email list, you're not going to just get like sales emails every day, because that's also very yucky. But we really try to provide a lot of valuable content with our emails, including a lot of educational things. You'll get a free digital guide when you sign up with just really simple things that we can do to build our health that are easy to overlook when there's all the shiny objects vying for your time and your money. And so we want to help people build that strong foundation first.
So anybody who wants to book you or talk to you about an event, they can get to you through being on your email list and responding there, or going to seekingwholehealth.com.
Yep, we have a contact form right there on the website.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys at the conference.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad that everybody's getting to know more about you.
Thank
Can't
you,
wait.
Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.